Hey guys, Omni here. We are back for episode 3 of Midnight Mass. The last episode, spooky stuff is happening around the island. We had a couple of close encounters with a shadowy figure in the distance with glowing yellow eyes. A creepy bat-winged thing that just kind of leapt out a dude that's kind of housing in this abandoned, condemned home in the center of town. And then it seems to be spying on, Annabeth Gish's house. I imagine for the mother, because I don't know if it is, in fact, this new Monsignor. And the first one we saw looming around, first person we saw looming around was the previous one, Monsignor Pruitt, running around on the beach and whatnot. We hadn't seen him at all that entire time. He's been replaced by this guy. Maybe he's targeting these people that he feels like he can heal or convert or strengthen, rather. I don't know. Because obviously, like with Pruitt, like his mind was going, there were some things like obviously he was aging and stuff like that, but he's out and about running around. Then we see him make the girl in the wheelchair, can't remember her name right now, like actually stand up and walk. And he had that moment when he brought, their, I don't know what you call it, their ceremony to Annabeth Gish's home so that her mother could experience the rituals and all that of their faith from there, since she's unable to actually attend given her condition. I don't know. It seems like there's some sighting of people, some picking out that is happening here, some choosing that is going on, but I could be seeing something where there's not. That's something I didn't mention in the previous one, but I kind of have been pondering since, maybe if that had been the case, but I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Like I said before, my brain, I love to just kind of like get in there and try to pick stuff apart at times and see if I can piece the puzzles together, but we don't really have much right now, so I don't really see the benefit in jumping to conclusions just yet. But we're going to go ahead and jump into this episode, though. So this one is Proverbs. I really wish I remembered more about the books of the Bible at this point, because I'm sure there's some clues in here as to how it pertains to what is going on story-wise, but I honestly, I can't remember most things aside from like the big key stories and all that, but we're going to jump into this thing. If you're part of the 67% of people that are watching the channel, you're not yet subscribed, or maybe you're tuning in for the very first time here today, I really hope if you enjoy this reaction, maybe you'll stick around, maybe you'll hit that subscribe button, maybe even leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see the full-length reaction to this episode, you can check it out in watch-along format over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, gets you access as well. Just seeing your own footage with the time codes, you can see my reaction to the entire episode. Get the same thing for every other show that we cover here on the channel, and we also have a bunch of exclusive movie reactions where you guys get to actually choose what we add to that list every month. Right, last month, Tick Tick Boom was the winner. This month, who knows? The poll is out for you guys to choose. We got monthly Q&As, behind-the-scenes footage to try to make it worth your while, since you guys are going out of your way to support the channel. But of course, I'm not ever going to do that, and a simple way you can help us out is just by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing these videos, because it really does help out a great deal with YouTube promoting the channel. But with that all said and down the way, guys, let's hop into episode 3. Here we go. And I know that some people got a little bit of the tease, and I kind of figured it would happen when I mentioned some things I've seen growing up and stuff throughout my life. But I don't know. Maybe I'll hang on to that for a little while. I don't have very many stories. I just have a couple, but some spooky stuff. And it's not just me. It was a group of us at times. So I know it's not just in my head, at least. Yet, I still am the healthy skeptic.
Tomorrow morning I'm going to introduce myself to the parish and lie to them about Monsignor John Pruitt.
Huh.
Odd senior moment. Now, this was a man in the grips of dementia, more advanced than anyone in the parish had admitted even to themselves. A man who had overstayed. Shepherd. They've grown to love over so many years. I am going to tell them this lie for their benefit, so that when it starts, they'll be ready for what's to come.
God, it's so ominous. But again, he's just got that calming, genuine kind of tone.
Father?
Huh. Is he sick and hiding it, or is that like the result of whatever miracle he just pulled? Like, is he taking their ailments onto himself in some physical way as a result? I'm so confused. I'm so intrigued, though.
It's a miracle.
It really is. It's like one really big X-Files episode, man.
You are standing, you are walking. That's the most important thing. I'm very happy for you, Lisa.
I hope this doesn't turn her into one of these creatures, though.
It feels wrong, doesn't it? To interrogate a miracle, second guess a gift from God.
Uh-oh. Wow, I'm not far off.
Mom?
Is she up and walking around?
Do you know my daughter, Sarah?
I don't
She's
know
a
how I'm gonna
doctor.
get you
She
down.
can tell you I have a bad hip.
Oh, wow.
Please pray.
Interesting.
He's been so sick.
Oh, wow. And now people are wanting healed.
Give thanks to the God of gods.
Him who alone great one, with steadfast love.
I gotta say, I forget his name. The actor playing this Monsignor, he's really good.
Fourth step can be very difficult, but I know you can do it. Really do.
We really not gonna talk about it? All our myths, our religions, come from natural occurrences that we can't explain. So I can pretty easily see my way through that.
Good for you.
I love how combative their dialogues are.
What would this community have thought of you if she hadn't?
Well, but you did.
And you had to know that.
Okay. What are you asking?
I'm asking, how did you know that?
That is a good question.
I felt so connected to her at that moment. That might be good enough for someone, but not for you. And I'll always wish that I could give you more. That's all I got.
I love it, man. Oh, get that owl out of here. That creepy little figure. No. Does it not hurt? They're gonna dance. Calling it. Dude's gonna John Travolta all over this place.
What are you doing?
What about your back?
Just dance with me.
All right.
Smooth. Gonna have a third kid after the night's over with moves like that. Well, she's not a nocturnal creature of the night just yet. She's getting better. She's jumping. Things are too good to be true, my guys. He's just like, what's up? You want to read? Aw. That turnout, man. You know, the devil can perform miracles to suit his needs too, you know? So, I'm so curious how this whole thing pans off. Yeah, we haven't seen them this episode much. Well, at all, really. Why? What is she doing with it now? Aww. Even more people now. You know, last episode was about rebirth, and this is the town, in essence, being reborn. We'll see.
What I do have, though, and what God gives us plentifully are mysteries. We tend to dislike mysteries. We
Yeah.
Light his hair to bend softly as the word of God sweeps. I'm very sorry. I'm.
She didn't poison him, did she? She's testing him, I think. Like, poison him to see what happens.
So as Monsignor Pruitt wandered, lost in the storm, the sand scratching his eyes, cutting into his
That's kind of what he looked like outside on the beach.
cave-like entrance that had just opened up in front of him until all light.
Oh, jeez. That startled the shit out of me.
Your heart rate's elevated, and your body temperature is too. It's like your body's fighting a virus.
Or poison.
And I'm canceling all of your afternoon appointments. You need rest, and you will get it.
The miracle of the town is infectious. We'll see. I want to know. I'm curious how that conversation's going to go.
Fuck.
The
guy alone. Fuck.
fuck? Oh, wow.
Honesty is important, so we'll start there. I have hated you for years, and the things I've imagined doing to you, I want you to suffer. I want you to beg for my forgiveness so that I can tell you no. I want you to live in complete, absolute misery. I'm sorry. Damn right you're sorry! You stole from me things I didn't even have yet. You reached through time, Joe Kohli. You reached through time and you stole. All of that is true, and all of that is still in here, but that's not why I came here today. I forgive you. I forgive you, Joe Kohli. I forgive you. And I see you now. And I'm still angry with you. But it's different. Even now, just saying it, it's different. Because the only thing standing between you and a better life is you. The only thing standing in my way was hate. The only thing standing in your way is you. Whoever is slow to anger is better than the mighty. If God can forgive you, and he says he can, all over the place he says it, then I can forgive you. And if I can forgive you, Joe Kohli, then anyone can.
That God revealed the Quran as the final message.
I don't think that this is the place to discuss where our beliefs about scripture might diverge.
Exactly.
Oh! Get wrecked.
If I went around handing out copies of the Quran to the children on this island in the interest of the pursuit of knowledge, well, I'd expect you chase me out of town, Miss Keene.
If I may.
Call it what it is, man!
Reading scripture in homeroom. Why, Sheriff, of course, I wouldn't run you out of town.
Nah, I don't trust you. You'd poison the shit out of him.
But we're all of the same cloth, cousins. And it was never my intention to disrespect anybody. Never. In the least.
I can't get over how much he looks like Ned Flanders, man.
Having a Bible present in the room. It's just a book in the room, like a science book or a history book. It's actually very different. If not providing a student with the option to learn, are we gonna burn books we find even a smidge controversial?
I feel like she might have a stronger point if they had a copy of any religious text and not just a singular one, because that shows a little bit of favoritism. That was a really good back and forth there for a while, and I love the alley-oop that he did there, but she had a very biased and targeted way of turning that around that worked on everybody except the two.
All right, Mom, time for a bath before... God, Mom.
Hey, give it time. She's gonna be sprouting wings.
Sarah, why I even bothered?
She remembered. She remembers her.
It's like I woke up, and there you are. Am I beautiful?
I'm not okay. This one hits way too close to home, man.
When did you move me into the living room?
But two grandparents that had Alzheimer's, and oh my lord, it is not easy. That would have been revelationary. That's not the, is that even a word?
I think there's something you can say to Joe that I can't, that nobody else can. And that's what this is for, so don't bullshit me. Just do it.
I love how I can just like, I love this guy, but I'm just like always waiting for him to like eat somebody's neck or sprout wings or something. the fuck?
I mean, why not just name it Bev Keene's Money Laundry? That's all it really Or Beverly fucking Keene's Queen Evil Bitch Emporium.
I wanted to go to St. Patrick's Sunday, just to check it out. There's no good reason for me not to.
There's an excellent reason. You're not a Christian.
You don't have to be, but...
I know Lisa pretty well, actually, and her case it's a miracle. Okay? It just is.
No, that isn't how it works, Ali.
He's gotta walk the walk if he's gonna talk that talk, though. Like everything he was saying back there, even if it's not what he wants, goes both ways. He was a convert too, right? That's what he said.
No matter how exciting the stories are at St. Patrick's, or the Buddhists, or Scientologists, it's not magic. It's not.
I love all of the angles that this show is like tackling, man.
Tomorrow we can talk about it more if you'd like.
Oh.
Will we be able to turn the water on before the father returns?
Almost done, Miss Keene.
He's not here.
And you're standing in the community, Wade. It would mean a lot. As a father.
Oh.
Oh, God, not again. What's wrong with him?
Oh, whoa.
Father Paul.
Why would she poison him, though? Like, she feel threatened by him? To falsify a miracle? What's the game plan here? Damn. I don't believe he's dead. With everything that's been going on.
Darkness, it was darkness in those ruins. No light, every step forward, a step into nothing.
Jump scare didn't get me this time, bitch. Hello. Ooh. Whoa, what the hell?
And he was sore afraid. As a hand in the dark.
And converts.
That sins may be forgiven. These words in the old man's old mind again and again and again and again as he drank.
But is this thing Paul?
Monsignor John Pruitt woke the next morning. The storm had passed.
Is he gonna wake up and he's...
His entrance and he walked to it. He walked to it, but
he's not gonna be...
He raised a hand to
Paul.
shield him from the sun.
Oh, wait.
The entrance of the church. It's not a mystery church. It's an ancient church hiding an angel behind me.
He just said behind me.
That someone would discover it, or that one night it wouldn't be there, it wouldn't fly to me, and when it did, I knew I'd have to hide it, and so I'd hid it.
It's here. That's what was in the case. And he's Pruitt. Holy shit.
I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess all my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Amen.
But if he's just a young Pruitt, wouldn't people know what Pruitt looked like that back then? I mean, holy fuck.
Oh, it's a miracle. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, she was testing his powers. She poisoned him to see what would happen. But
thank God.
Is he not just younger, but maybe he reshaped into another man? I'm confused a little bit here, man. If that is this guy, and nobody has noticed, the fuck? Yep. Well, I guess he's so old, like nobody would remember him today, I guess. If he outlived anybody else that is currently around. Damn, that's quite the twist. I didn't see that one in the cards. I didn't see that he was Pruitt himself. So he was off on his journey and wandered off into the desert and stumbled upon this cavern housing this angel, as he calls it. Lucifer was an angel. The devil was an angel. So, like, I actually said that in the throughout the reaction, I think at one point or another, that, you know, the devil can perform miracles to meet his ends, to turn people away. So, damn, man, holy crap, man, that was good. So many great monologues in this, like, really, from like the thing at the AA meeting to all of his sermons to just these lovely little moments in between. The performances in this are phenomenal. Like, I really need to commit this dude's name to memory, because he's really good. He's very charismatic. He's very welcoming and warm, and I'm sure he believes exactly what he has experienced. But you can turn that, you can corrupt that, or not fully understand it. Like, he might believe he was given life for restoration and healing, and he's blinded by that, but he's just kind of, this thing is also doing its own thing on the side. Like, it's attacking people of its own volition. It's free, but we don't necessarily know its motivations either, or exactly what it is. And it could also be him imprinting his own beliefs onto this creature that we know nothing about and how it works. It just happens to line up with myth, with scripture, and all that sort of thing, that he's interpreting it as such or seeing it as such. And again, I like the comparisons to faith and all that are being made throughout this whole thing. And again, Bevan the poison, Bevan the dog, now Bevan Pruitt. Now, we've seen that she is extremely passionate about her beliefs, and I don't know if she feels threatened by him or if this was her. I do think she poisoned him. Like, why else show that in this episode? Unless, again, we're sticking to this as a really long-running red herring. But I say long-running, we're only 3 episodes in. I think, one, she's loving the attention that this is bringing to their faith. This is validating her faith, and that's one of the things that is very dangerous about faith in general, is how we turn certain things, spin certain things into validation and use that as a weapon. And that's kind of what she's doing. She used what is happening in the town, this revival, this restoration, as an attack on the sheriff and his family, even though he's coming from a perfectly reasonable place. Same with Miss Green. And like, I see where she's coming from, but she falters in her argument because it's the only option. You know, I think, you know, I took theology classes. I learned about Buddhism. I learned about Shintoism. I learned about all these different religions and stuff like that. And I think that's helpful. I think that's useful. And I think that's eye-opening in a lot of ways. And it helps you connect with people all over the world and think a little bit more outside of the box. Because I was raised in I was raised in a Christian church. And I still have a lot of those fundamental values, but I would say that I've crafted my own belief structures from that, from the things that I've learned, my own observations of the world. And I personally also believe a lot of the things that the sheriff was saying. But that's me. I don't want to get into that or weigh this down with that. There's some conversations that can be had about that, but I don't think I'm wise enough with words or anything to kind of really dive into a long form conversation about that. Plus, talking about this sort of stuff in general tends to make a lot of people uncomfortable. But that said, he made a great argument, and it wasn't getting through what she was saying or what he was trying to get at. Like, if there was representation for more than just the Bible there, maybe there could be an argument made to have it in a public school. But it's not. Right now, it's the predominant one. It's the popular one. It's the one that's pushed. It's the one everybody's kind of gravitated towards. It creates an unfair imbalance towards that narrative. And, you know, maybe if they had copies of all kinds of different texts in there, you could kind of push that argument. It's either one way or the other. It's like you can't just kind of have your cake and eat it too. So, and that's kind of how I feel about it. That's how I personally feel about it. I believe there definitely should be a separation of church and state in that vein. And people should be allowed to feel things out on their own, which is another reason why I do like that there is a minor bit of hypocrisy that does come in that. We go back into his home and we see his son intrigued about going to church, and he starts off very combative about it, but he's got a very personal connection to it. But we learned that he wasn't always a Muslim. We learned that he was actually a convert. That kind of opens up that conversation because he's initially gutturally against it, even though that's kind of what he went through himself through his own experiences. So I do think that he should at least allow his son to explore those venues and come to his own decision. And I love the scene with Liz and Joe and how that plays out, or Lisa, and that whole exchange. It was powerful. It was strong and well performed. And just to how that inspired him to go to AA and join Riley at trying to get better. And I love just how candid that circle is. I'm curious to see where the end of the road is going to be for Joe at the end of the season, because it's already gotten a different direction than one of my predictions early on. Actually, I can't remember. I think I might have said that he might fall into the pitfalls of what's going on in town, but that wasn't the one I was actually leaning towards. We saw this creature, this angel, hovering around the sheriff's house. Weird. We see other people around the town slowly starting to get better. How? That's my question, is how is he transferring this power? Is he actually maybe putting his blood, the blood of life, the blood that this creature gave to him, into the wine everybody's drinking at communion? That would be wild. We saw the father, his back is getting better. He's dancing with his wife, and who knows, they probably went off for some bedroom shenanigans that night. We see, Liv obviously walking again, and Sarah's mother walking, going up the stairs unaided, and now remembering her. That scene almost, I was keeping myself in check there. I've had two grandparents go through Alzheimer's, and I know the joy my mom would have felt if her mother could remember her. Because that was one of the hardest things, was that my mom was one of the people that she had forgotten. And she was always taking care of her and all that stuff. And there were times where she would remember her, but she would think she was 10 or 8 or something like that. She could never quite see her as an adult. And she was always talking to people around her that have long since passed and stuff like that. It was just really sad. And one of the things that really hurt me, it made me happy, don't get me wrong, but it had to have also hurt my mom, was I was one of the few people, regardless of what time my grandmother thought she was in, she could remember me. And I felt guilty about that. I'm not going to lie. I felt bad about that, because I know how badly my mom would have wanted to be remembered. Like I said, there's always this double-edged sword with it, and it was just there's a lot of emotional memories that come with that, as well as a lot of regret too, because I didn't spend the amount of time I probably should have while we had it. But you never know what's going to happen. You don't ever know these things when you're growing up. You let things slide by. It's I'll go next weekend. I'll visit next weekend. I'll visit next weekend. And then before you know it, they can't even put a name to your face. And it's kind of terrifying. And I forget stuff all the time, man. And I'm always thinking, oh God, am I next? And I don't know. It scares me, man. I know I've got a ways away before I should really seriously be worried about that, but it just comes to mind, man. It got really close there. And I'll share a little story here. I've got 3 different glowy-eyed stories, and I've got a couple of spooky ghost stories. They're not really spooky. They're pretty harmless, but I've got some ghost stories. But I'll go with the big one, I think. So there was a sleepover at a friend's for a birthday. I think we were between 14 and 16. I can't remember. We had about 6 people over that night at my friend's house, and he had pretty much the entire downstairs to himself, and that's kind of where we would stay. Me and a couple of friends I was on one couch, had a friend on the love seat, and then one of us was sleeping in a sleeping bag on the floor. He was conked out, but me and the guy on me on the couch and the guy on the love seat, we were just kind of like talking, trying to fall asleep, and we had the lights completely out. It was well past midnight, so the room was pitch black. And then I wouldn't say pitch black, but really, really dark. Now, at one point or another, out of the corner of my eye, up in the very far corner of the room, there was a silhouette in the shape of a man, like what we've seen here, a little bulkier, but it was just a void. Like where there was darkness, that was a void, and it had two glaring red eyes, and it was just staring at us. And I whispered over to my friend, and I said, oh no, I called out their name. I just like whispered their name to them, and they responded, you see it too? And I said yes. And I just pulled my head under my blanket and just like hoped it would go away. And checked again. It's still there. And I was like, all right, nope. I'm just going to ignore it. And then after a little while, it was just gone. Now, the thing is, there's not a light in that corner. There is not any mirrors in that corner. Were not any, it was just wood paneling, like gray wood paneling, and a trash can. There was nothing in that corner that could just project that image. And yeah, man, it was spooky. And that's not the only time I've seen something like that. So I don't know, man. I'm not here to call it's a demon. Who knows? It could be Mothman. I'm from Appalachia. Mothman Festival is literally like 30 minutes away from here whenever it's in full brew. I don't know. Like I have my skepticism about certain things like the supernatural and whatnot, but I'm also open to certain things as well. I wouldn't call myself a non-believer, is what I'd say. I would say I would like to see to believe, and I've seen some weird shit that I got no explanation for. That's one of them. And maybe we could talk more. Maybe I'll sprinkle some more of these in throughout, but I think that's the one that sticks in my memory the most, actually. But yeah, I really like the conversations that are being had in this, because it really does show the dangers of this zealotry. But it also, it's shown like the positive and the negative sides of faith, because I don't think that faith in and of itself is bad. It's just, it can be wielded as a weapon. And I think that's where it loses its genuine, what's the word I'm looking for? It's potency. No, not right. I think you guys know what I'm probably trying to say, at least. I just can't think of the right word for it at the moment. Disingenuous? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. But I like the conversations that are being had here. It's not outright shunning it, but it is showing that how some bad eggs in the bunch can really start to spoil it for everybody. Because I have a lot of friends that are deep into it, but they're open, they're loving, they're supportive, no matter what. And not gonna lie, there's some people I know that just aren't the majority. I mean, a lot of them are hard to get along with, man. I'm not even gonna pretend they're not, but not everybody's like that, man. I don't think it should be discounted outright, but I do think that like with fandom, there can be a very loud, very toxic minority that just get too much attention for what is going on. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it is the majority at this point. I don't know. Anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole I don't really want to touch on, but really like the episode. I'm very intrigued to continue now that we actually seen this creature. So yeah, man, what'd you think? sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Feel free to join us in our Discord. We can talk about it there as well. Links to that and all my socials are down below. If you want to see the full length reacts, remember it's on Patreon, or become a member of the channel, gets you access to that. Also, before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Manny Sherritt, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane, Yori Korscott, Margaret Grace, Mary Bradley, Melita, Robert Anguiano, and Cal Kestis Nation. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. But this is another episode down. I'll see you guys next week for the next one. Take care, everybody.